Hey, how's it going, you classless carbings? Today we're going to be playing some games with Green's ReshiZard. I just kind of felt like playing some Greens today, so I thought we may as well try out Blaine Hill's top 4 list. Nothing too ridiculous in his list from other lists. I guess the big things are there's a whole bunch of stadiums in here, and the Energy Spinner over the second Fiery Flint. But yeah, we got a Hearth, a Heat Factory, a Labs, a Power Plant, and a Shrine. So the big things to take note of here is, I think, the Labs to help in the Malamar matchup. Only the one Power Plant. It does have the Shrine in here as well for the Pikarom matchup. Hanging on to the Hearth as well. The Hearth is nice. Sometimes it feels like it's a little bit extra, but he did end up going with it. And then you got the Lusamine in here as well, so we can get any of these stadiums back if we want, or some of our supporters. We want some more Welders, some more Greens, can help us to prepare for getting Reset stamped, or, you know, maybe we need a second Shrine, second Power Plant, second Lysandre Labs, depending on the situation. So Lusamine is super helpful for those situations to get those stadiums back as well. So yeah, that's all I gotta say on the list. Like I said, it's not too ridiculously different from the Greens lists that have been going around. No switch, only one Fiery Flint, but it does have the Spinner and the Hearth to make up for that. Only one Power Plant, and then we got the Shrine and the Labs in there as well, plus the Lusamine. So a little bit different than the more standard lists, but there's only so much you can do with Green's Reshi. So all right, let's go ahead and get into some games. First, here in this first game, our opponent does have a mulligan, which we're definitely very thankful for, because our starting hand is not super great. Unless this Pokégear does find us a Greens, then we're in business. So yeah, hopefully this finds me. No idea what our opponent's playing after seeing their starting hand. I saw a netball and some other stuff. So we'll see what our opponent has going on here. There's a Fire Energy, so at the very least we could Welder. There's a Snow Runt. Oh no, that's not good for us. So yeah, let's open up with a Pokégear here. That's a Welder, that's not a Greens. We will take it to the hand. Find me a Greens, please. There we go, there's that Greens. Alright, gonna look for a Flint and a Cherish Ball. Well, a Flint for sure. I guess it has to be a Cherish Ball as well. I can't think of anything else I could potentially grab here. We could go... Now, hold on. Could actually go for Flint and a Greens. And our plan could be to go... We do want to get a Custom Catcher, and we could get a Cherish Ball next... Oh, I guess we could just KO the Ditto, though. Yeah, I guess just Flint and Cherish Ball is the way to go, then. Start using Welder next turn to try and find some more Volcanions. Volcanion's super good in this matchup, I would have to assume. And go ahead and start thinning out the deck immediately. And then we'll Flint away the Lusamine and the Energy. I don't think we're going to need the Lusamine against this deck. So this matchup is definitely tough. Definitely very tough. Yeah, so I was thinking I wanted to like chase Snow Run, but Ditto is basically a Snow Run, so it makes no sense to chase the Snow Run. We're going to attach Active, because if we are to get stamped, we can at very least High Heat Blast the Active, and then kind of go from there. So yeah, I was kind of in my head, I was like, ooh, I want to kill that Snow Run. That evolves into a Frostlass. But you know what? Ditto also evolves into a Frostlass. So KOing a Ditto is the same thing as KOing that Snow Run. If I KO the Snow Run, he still has the Ditto. But if I KO the Ditto, he still has the Snow Run. So it's the same thing. Chasing the Snow Run. I guess now that has an Energy, I kind of want to chase it a little bit more than KOing the Active. But shouldn't be that big of a deal. Oh, there's the U-turn board on the Active Ditto. That's unfortunate. We did get Reset stamped down to 6. Like I said, that could potentially happen. It did happen. Our hand is looking none too good. It is the Breloom deck. I was actually wondering, but once I saw the U-turn board, I guess I should have assumed it was Breloom. All right, we are going to be able to take out this Ditto. I don't know why they didn't protect the Ditto. But the rest of the hand is really bad. High Heat Blast for the knockout here on this Ditto. And we're hoping for a Welder off the prizes here. I don't even know if any are prized. We get a ReshiZard. That is not ideal. We are in some serious trouble off of that Reset stamp from our opponent. Drew absolutely nothing. Yeah, we're in trouble here on this one. I think this one is going to end up pretty poorly for us. We're still going to hope for the best. But I'm not too... I'm pretty reluctant to say we're going to be able to come out on top on this one at this point. Maybe they whiff the knockout with the Frostlass. Maybe they just can't find the Frostlass. They are digging pretty hard here. They got themselves a Cynthia. Yeah, it's not that hard to deal with the Breelooms. The Breelooms are pretty reasonable to deal with. That's not too difficult for us to deal with. It's the Frostlass that is the big troublemaker in this matchup. We have mixed herbs to remove the sleep condition, keep ourselves attacking. They don't even two-shot a ReshiZard with the pre-dawn strike, so if we can get through the Frostlass, that's where we can kind of start to turn things around. Double Judge Whistle from our opponent. Still no Frostlass yet. A whole bunch of other stuff. It looks like they maybe whiffed the Frostlass. No, there's the communication. All right, Frostlass is coming out. Now, I have to decide if I want to send up the Volcanion here or if I want to send up the ReshiZard. I guess they only have to hit themselves for, what, 6? I guess we'll send up the Volcanion here. Or 3, actually. Yeah, so they could knock out another Volcanion. I almost want to send up ReshiZard so they have to knock themselves out and we get another prize card. I mean, it doesn't feel good, but I feel like that might be the right play. And if we top deck a Welder, we can still attack with the ReshiZard anyways. Yeah, let's hope to top deck a Welder here. I'm down to top deck Welder here. Let's go. Oof, there we go. Top deck Welder. It's gotta play here out sometimes, man. It's gotta play here out sometimes, guys. Just go for it. It will sometimes work out. We can start working through their stadiums. And we are going to GX attack here. I'm going to Energy Spinner as well to thin that fire energy out of the deck. Once again, our hand is not great. So we do... How many energy? There was 2 energy available there. 6, 7, 8. So 3 energy prized. I'm going to go ahead and bench the ReshiZard. Potentially before our opponent does what's it called? Reset Stamp us again. I want that guy in play rather than back in the deck. Another Volcanion, not super useful. We don't really want to be using another Volcanion anytime soon. Mar-Eat will make its way to the active. I keep thinking they're like, wow, they keep having U-turn boards, but the U-turn board goes back to the hand. That's why they keep having access to the U-turn board. It keeps going back to the hand. So we're probably going to get pre-dawn striked here. Maybe they'll have access to... Well, they won't have access to a Frostlass this turn. We'll see if they get a Snow Run in play, I guess. We have 2 Great Potions to kind of buy ourselves a turn of, like, living. We'll wake up at the very least. So that'll be nice to wake up. Oh, we give ourselves a chance to wake up. We're staying asleep here, but our opponent only had Breelooms, so we actually have the chance to come back in this one. Here's a greens perfect top deck. We're gonna greens for a mixed herb, and I almost just want to grab Heat Factory and start using Heat Factory to draw cards. We do want to wake up and be aggressive here, so we are going to wake up. We're going to Flare Strike. And then, yeah, like I said, I almost want to just grab a Heat Factory and draw some cards. I think I'm down with that. I think I'm down with just grabbing Heat Factory and drawing some cards here. There's a good chance it stays in play if our opponent is completely reliant on their top deck. Welder for next turn. Yeah. So there's a good chance we pull a fire out of our prizes. Like I said, we prized 3 fire energy. So this Welder should be live next turn, as long as we are able to pull a fire out of these 4 prizes. There we go. So Welder's live for us to draw cards, or with the Heat Factory. Both work. We got 4 Great Potion in hand. So we'll be able to keep our ReshiZard nice and healthy from this point on. They are going to spore us. We're going to be looking for another mixed herb, or just to wake up. All right, no waking up. We'll chill for a turn. Another Welder top deck. I think we start with Welder here because it's possible we actually don't use the Heat Factory. I would like to use the Heat Factory. Perfect. 2 Fire Crystals. Plenty of time to use the Heat Factory. Fire Crystal. Definitely want to set up this bench ReshiZard to attack. I'm going to go ahead and use this Cherish Ball as well. We don't want that anymore. The last Fire Crystal, I believe... Ooh, looks like it's our last prize. One of our last prizes here. Oh, no. Yeah. So there's 2 Fire Energy and a Fire Crystal, and our last prize is there. I think we could go ahead and bench everything. I don't think they would be playing Custom Catcher, but they might. So I guess we may as well play safe. I guess this guy can come down no matter what. I can just set him up to attack or move him if I have to. This guy will hold on to... Yep, we're just going to go ahead and pass over to our opponent. Still sleeping, despite the lack of slumber for us. We still can't wake up. Spore is too strong, so they can get us with the pre-dawn strike for 120 here. There it is, 120 with the pre-dawn strike. Finally, we wake up. And we only have 120 on us, so we don't have to... What do I want to say here? Panic or anything. We don't have to, like, move him this turn. Doom, doom. I'm going to go ahead and Welder to this guy. 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and attach to this guy, because we don't really want to set up this third ReshiZard. So I'm just going to go with the Outrage here, so we can save our Flare Strike for the following turn. And don't have to move this guy quite yet. We won't even be able to get knocked out. Even if they somehow like switch into Amari, put us to sleep, got this guy back into the active, they wouldn't quite be able to knock us out. So we'll be safe just like this. This is fine. 9, 10. We're actually, wait, 9, 10. Oh, maybe I miscounted our energy then. All right, so there's an energy prize and something else prized, but I don't know what the other thing is. I guess I could put myself in a situation where if they double Custom Catcher up this guy, it could get trapped, and I actually can't move it, and we would actually deck out and lose the game. So I might retreat our active ReshiZard to get the fires in the discard pile to be able to attack with either ReshiZard through the Fire Crystal, just to be safe. I don't think our opponent probably plays the custom catchers, but just in case they do, I would rather be safe than sorry. So I think I probably will do that next turn. We're in a position where we pretty much can't lose except for that route, so we may as well protect ourselves from that situation. And yeah, there's another grass energy from our opponent, gonna put us to sleep. But just like before, we don't really care. Got the greens, so we can go get ourselves some mixed herbs. Wake up. I am going to retreat. I'd rather be safe than sorry. No reason to give our opponent a potential out to win this game. So we're just going to retreat to this one. Use the Flare Strike. We'll have the 3 in the discard pile, so now we can attack with either ReshiZard. I could have just not benched this ReshiZard, not put myself in this position, but yeah, I'll go ahead and throw these down too so we can play around Reset Stamp. I'm fine with that as well. And then, yeah, Flare Strike. These, you know, same thing. We can retreat them now, so it's fine to put them down. And the way the prize trade is trading out doesn't matter. I'm actually curious to ask you what our last prize card is, because I thought it was a Fire Energy, but apparently it's not. I thought the last 4 was Fire, or 3 fires and a crystal, but I must have pulled one of the fires earlier. We're awake again. All right, just go attach here, retreat, and we're gonna close out this game against the Breloom deck. Let's figure out what that last prize card was. Outrage, knockout. What was it? I'm super curious to know. Or is it an Acro Bike? All right, take a dub here in the first one over the Breloom Process. Usually a pretty tough matchup, I think, just because of the Frost Last. But you know, they only play usually like sometimes a 3-3 line, but it's usually a 2-2. And if we can work through the 2-2, put some KOs on snow runs and stuff, it doesn't end up being that bad. We got that early KO on the Ditto, and then we got that lucky Welder top deck, and yeah, worked out from there. We're headed here into this next one. We got the Volcanion start. We got the greens in the hand. The question is, will this Pokégear find us a Welder or not? No Welder off the Pokégear, so we're gonna have to get one off the greens. Ooh, this makes this interesting. So we do have the greens. I mean, I think we have to go Welder Cherish Ball. It's not ideal, but I don't really think we have a choice. Cherish Ball for the Charizard. Still quite a few top decks that could get us a little bit better start. We could get KO'd by the Heatran here, but I think we do want to attach to the bench here. Yeah, we could get knocked out by Heatran here on our first turn. The Volcanion could, so I think we just want to go attach to the bench here to prepare for that potentially happening. We're probably up against Ability. Yep, AbilityZard. I think this matchup is generally pretty tough. Definitely unfavored. Not at all unwinnable, but definitely tough. They're already starting off strong here with a Welder. Is it for 1 or 2 energy though? It is the 2 energy, so our Volcanion is definitely going down. I don't see a world where this Volcanion sees the light of day into the next turn. He's definitely getting knocked out. This excuse me, the AbilityZard deck plays so many energy, so many ways to find them, so many ways to just draw cards, Acro Bikes to Denes. They're gonna find a Fire Energy almost here almost for sure. There goes a Fire Crystal, so probably not quite playing the Tord list, maybe pretty close. Yep, there's the Fire Energy, and here we go, Steam and Stomp, knockout on our Volcanion. One thing I always kind of debate is when you have the greens in the Pokégear, and it's like, well, if Pokégear gets the Welder, then greens doesn't need to. I almost feel like, I mean, I could go with the play where I check Pokégear first, but I almost feel like if I thin my deck up by 3 or 4 cards by the top deck next turn, plus the cards I get off greens, maybe it's best to just hold the Pokégear until next turn and find out then. Oof, oh, there's the Energy Spinner. I was about to say, oh, we whiffed, but Energy Spinner will do it. We are going to GX knock out this Heatran, try and be a little bit aggressive here. Draw some prizes, hopefully put our opponent on the back foot. 3 Fire Crystal in hand is far from ideal, but we're gonna make it work here. 2 greens out of the prize cards. I guess we were a little bit lucky to open up with the 1 greens we had. Yeah, so now have access to all of our greens. I should get your cards before you put down your prize cards. Don't listen to me. But our opponent does have their ReshiZard, or their next attacker getting set up ready to go, which is the ReshiZard. We very much need to find another ReshiZard as soon as possible, as well as a Welder or a way to find Fire Energy. The Fire Crystal doesn't really work too well because that'll put us like a turn behind. We have to like wait for this thing to get knocked out to utilize that. So, I mean, we could get Cherish Ball Welder and then retreat this ReshiZard, Fire Crystal the energy onto it, Welder it to it. Then we're hoping our opponent doesn't knock out the ReshiZard this turn, I guess. So that would have to happen. If not, it's just gonna have to be greens for Cherish Ball. Yeah, we're just gonna have to get Cherish Ball and Welder off greens. Hopefully top deck some way to one of those cards or some way to find Fire Energies. Then we can change up what we grab off the greens. So yeah, top deck is gonna be a big deal here. Our opponent does need, or they could give us a Giant Hearth, which they just did. Our opponent's gonna need, what do they need here? They need back-to-back Welders. So if they don't find that, we'll still be in a pretty good spot. And they whiff the GX kill on our ReshiZard. Yeah, if they whiff the GX kill on our ReshiZard, we'll still be in a pretty fine spot. If they do hit it, I think we're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. But we're still just gonna, you know, cruise through, hope for the best, see how it goes. Yeah, we'll probably be using Hearth, getting rid of the Great Potion. I might get rid of one of these Fire Crystals, actually. Fire Crystal, we don't really need 3 Fire Crystal anymore, I don't think. A Volcanion at some point would also be great to kind of throw in the mix and shift up the prize trade just a bit. So yeah, that would be great. Our opponent could make a mistake and do something like Outrageous here this turn, which would also be great, because then we could Outrage back for 60 and then look to Flare Strike on the following turn. I guess we wouldn't be able to Flare Strike. Yeah, we definitely want to take care of this Victini. Yeah, we don't have the Double Blaze ourselves anymore, so it's going to be tough to get through this ReshiZard here. We'll come up with something, though. I'm sure there's some way to pull it out. And KOing Victini, generally you don't want to bench it before you attack with it, because it can get kind of knocked out before you can use the Infinity, but I don't think our opponent really had an option here. I'm pretty sure they probably are about to use a Dedenne here, so you kind of got to bench the Victini. There's a Cherish Ball fail, though. All right, Dedenne out of hand. There he is. Yeah. Our opponent is probably going to try and use a Dedenne here, so that's why they put the Victini down when they did. They did Welder for turn already, but like I said, they kind of need back-to-back Welders here, so they did Welder this turn. They're going to need another one next turn. Not going to be super difficult for them to get, probably, but they still need it. And if they do whiff, that'll give us like another turn to try and come up with some kind of game plan to get back into this one, because we're definitely behind by quite a bit. They got the turn 1 KO on our Volcanion. We had to use our Double Blaze super early on. I guess we could have not used Double Blaze, but then I don't even know what the game would have turned into if we had chosen to not use Double Blaze. It feels like then they could have welded to their active and just KO'd us with GX attack. So I guess we could never afford to not Double Blaze there. I think we actually probably always had to Double Blaze there. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to not Double Blaze, but I guess, yeah, we didn't really have a choice. Yeah, here comes another Stellar Wish from our opponent. Gonna be looking for Welder. I think Welder's the biggest card. There's the Welder. All right, so we're in trouble on the next turn, that's for sure. Gonna have to come up with some kind of cheesy game plan. Gonna have to involve a lot of healing and KOing Victini. Yeah, we're gonna need a lot of healing to close this one out, and we have to KO that Victini. I think we can do it, though. I think we can pull it off. All right. Gonna start with the Giant Hearth. I think we can get rid of one of these Fire Crystals just fine. Oh, that's a lot of Fire Crystals in one hand. I don't think we need all of those. I'm gonna check this. Yeah, I'm gonna check this for Welder. All right, we got the Welder. Go ahead and grab ourselves a Cherish Ball, like I was saying, and Flare Strike knocking this out actually seems kind of good. I think I'm actually going to go for that. Yeah, so we can go attach Flare Strike, get down to that, and then we could actually just Outrage Shrine, Flare Strike, knock out this one. All right, so we got a plan here now. So we need Cherish Ball. Hopefully it's not prized. Cherish Ball's in. And where do we go from there, man? Where's the... We would need Shrine eventually, but we don't need it right now. We have the Welder for the next turn for the second ReshiZard to get the Outrage hit. And then the turn after, we looked for Shrine plus double Custom Catcher, make sure it stays in the active, and then Knockout. So Custom Catcher would maybe be a fine grab. We have one in hand, but the Shrine is going to be harder to find. So I think we grab the Shrine here. Yeah, let's grab the Shrine. Not going to put it in play yet until we need it, because we don't want to damage our own ReshiZard, I don't think. Another ReshiZard, and then yeah, Flare Strike. All right, we're maybe in a fine spot here, so we're gonna go Flare Strike, knock out this Victini. I mean, it depends. If they get enough Fire Energy in the discard pile to one-shot us with the Victini, then they do it. Congratulations. But if they don't, I think we're actually gonna be able to pull this one out. The more I'm kind of looking at how our hand breaks down and how the turns in the game are gonna break down, I think we'll be okay. Maybe. The Heatran is gone. Well, they're gonna GX attack our active anyways, so yeah, we should be okay. And we'll find out shortly as the game progresses, but I think we're in a pretty good spot. They do have the Ninetales set up now, which means they can discard a lot of Fire Energy through that. They do have to ramp the other ReshiZard, but actually with the way the game is breaking down, I think that's what they probably should do, is get as many fire energy in the discard pile, look to go knockout with ReshiZard on this guy, which I'm sure they're going to do with their GX attack, and then knock out this one with Victini on the following turn. Otherwise, I think it's very possible that they lose the game. I don't know if they're going to pick up on that line of play at all, and they're just going to go, all right, I'm just going to knock out the ReshiZard. It's the one with 4 energy, right? It kind of makes sense to try and go after this ReshiZard. But I actually think the better line of play from them is to get as much fire in the discard pile, which would be 9 temptations, get 2 more in the discard pile. The hard retreat would be +3. And they have to somehow work out a way to get the rest in the discard pile. Maybe they can't even quite get enough in the discard pile with these locked up on the ReshiZard, because there's always going to be 3 locked up on the ReshiZard. Maybe they can't even quite get there. We'll see. I'm probably not going to play around Reset Stamp because I've yet to see a build of Ability Zard playing the Reset Stamp, so I think I'm just going to play like they don't have it. And if they have it, oh well. Yeah, if they have it, oh well. But I'm going to go ahead and play like they don't have it until I see it, and then once I see it, I'm gonna be like, well, I wish I'd played around it. There's a switch, and now it should just be the retreat to the ReshiZard GX attack. Unless they can get enough, unless they're gonna try and get enough energy in the discard pile and use Victini on the following turn. But actually, that'd be like 5 locked up on Victini plus ReshiZard, so I don't think they can quite do it. I don't think they can quite have enough energy in the discard pile to get a one-shot with Infinity, unless this ReshiZard goes down. And if it goes down, we win the game anyway, so don't think they can quite pull that off. So I think they're out of ways to one-shot us, which is pretty cool. But I think that puts us in a pretty good... Oh, the Turtonator. I forgot about Turtonator. Oh, no. I forgot about Turtonator. I was like, I think they're out of ways to one-shot us, but Turtonator works. They would need their 4th Welder to pull this off, so I guess we're going to have to put them on 4th Welder at this point. I completely forgot about Turtonator. Turtonator works beautifully coming into the next turn here. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it. The only thing we could have looked to do is have a Volcanion set up, and then go Volcanion here, hit this for 50, and then Flare Strike it on the next turn. No Volcanion. We would have also needed back-to-back Welders ourselves, which we don't have, but we could have like ditched the Shrine for a second Welder off the greens. All right, so we're gonna have to go into the Outrage Shrine knockout play. That's gonna have to be our game plan. So I'm gonna start with the Giant Hearth. I don't think the healing is gonna be relevant anymore, but it might be. I don't think so. Let's get rid of the healing. Start to ship that. I'm going to go ahead and throw the Lysandre Labs in play. Remove the escape board option from our opponent. Well, let's start with the Welder here. 1, 2, 3. All right. Attach. Yeah, going to go ahead and throw the Lysandre Labs in play. Remove that option from our opponent. And then we're going with the Outrage. And then we're going to go Shrine, double Custom Catcher, Flare Strike next turn to knock this thing out. They can one-shot us still on their turn with the Turtonator. I completely forgot about Turtonator. That's why the Turtonator is so good in this deck, because when your energy does get locked up and Victini doesn't quite work, that means Turtonator usually works because you have enough energy locked up in play to the point where Turtonator just getting one-shots. So they do need their 4th Welder. So let's see if they're able to find it. It's the last Welder. I mean, they might have the Pal Pad to put 2 more into the deck, and then they have 3 to find out of the deck. But their bench is locked up. They don't have a way to use Dedenne. They can still Stellar Wish, and of course they do have a 7-card hand. So I guess it would have been nice for me to... There's the Pal Pad for 2 Welder. Maybe I should have grabbed... but I did need the Shrine. But I guess I could have greens the following turn for Shrine Custom Catcher, so I could have gotten a Reset Stamp off of that last greens, because I knew I would be able to play another greens for the second Custom Catcher and the Shrine, and top decking or drawing into the Custom Catcher anyways. I probably should have got a Reset Stamp on that last greens when I got the Welder and the whatever it's called. Hit them with the Reset Stamp this turn, and then I think we would have had this one locked up. So, slight mistake by me, but I think if we had gone for the Reset Stamp, we would have won this. So, almost there. I wasn't really thinking. I was kind of tunnel visioning on the needing the Custom Catchers and the Shrine, and kind of forgot that I would have another supporter to be played before the game is over. And I would have been able to play one more supporter before the turn is over. But whoa, there's the attach on the Victini. That's interesting. Like I said, definitely not going to be able to get enough energy in the discard pile. That means it's not attached to Turtonator, which means Turtonator is just not happening this turn. So I'm curious as to what their plan is going to be. Maybe retreat the ReshiZard, let me KO Jirachi, then retreat ReshiZard, and then use Victini. Still not quite enough damage from the Infinity, though. So they definitely don't quite have it. Despite my mistake of not hitting them with the Reset Stamp this turn, should have just not gotten Shrine. Because going into this turn, I'm going to get to play a supporter, and it doesn't have to be Welder, which means it could be greens, which means I could get the Custom Catcher, could get the Shrine. But they're just going with the Outrage themselves. It seems like they've forgotten that we have the Shrine in our hand. And yeah, we're just going to be able to go Flare Strike to close this one out. Shrine doing a ton of work here in the end. And yeah, that's going to be it. Flare Strike, 230, 260 total, 10 damage from the Shrine, 270. It's going to be the knockout on their last ReshiZard. Get us our last 3 prize cards. And we're going to take a dub here in the ReshiZard mirror match. Okay, our reset stamp was prized, so I couldn't have gotten it anyways. So I guess my play ended up being as optimal as it could have been, I guess, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Playing some games with the top 4 greens ReshiZard from Worlds. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give the video a like. If you're enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. In the description down below, you'll find links to my social medias and Twitch live stream. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.